Crazy things teachers did. This teacher said he has a thing he does whenever he loses control of his class. He grabs a stapler and says, "Anyone want to put a staple in my hand? The physical pain would be nothing compared to how I feel right now, when all I want to do is help you guys reach your full potential, but you don't care." Somebody then usually doubts his seriousness and says, "Yeah, I'll put a staple in your hand." That's when he walks up to their desk, puts the stapler down, and puts his hand down and says, "Do it." The students usually give a nervous giggle and they pretend to do it, but they never do. Well, one day he did this little stunt again, and a student was like, "Yes, mister, I'll put a staple in your hand." He brings a stapler over, puts his hand down, and the student actually staples his hand. He didn't freak out or anything. He calmly looked at his hand, asked, "Did that really happen?" Pulled the staple out while blood trickled down, and he said, "Are we done? Can I go back to teaching now?" All the students were completely shocked. The kid that did it felt so bad that he stapled his own hand at the end of class. The dumbest rules parents made their kids follow. When this person was growing up, his parents wouldn't allow him to use public restrooms at all. Even on trips to Disney World. If he had to go to the bathroom, they had to go all the way back to the hotel, which is bogus. When he was in elementary and middle school, at the start of every year, his parents would call the teachers and told them to let them know if their son ever used the public bathroom. If he was caught using the public bathroom at school, his parents would punish him when he got home. Growing up, there was no place he could safely use the bathroom other than his home without getting in trouble. When he got to high school, the parents tried the same thing. They called the teachers and said, "Let us know if he ever uses the public restroom." The teachers in high school thought that was weird, and they never followed through. So he got away with using the bathrooms in high school. But it wasn't until college, where this kid was finally allowed to use any public bathroom he wanted without fear of being punished by his crazy parents. The dumbest rules parents had their kids follow. When this girl was in high school, her parents had this very strict rule. "All right, love you guys, I'm going to my friend's house. Okay, don't forget the rules." "I won't." The rule was this: she had a curfew every night, and for every minute she was late after curfew, she would be grounded for a week. So if she was 2 minutes late coming home, she'd be grounded for 2 weeks. Well, one day she was stuck behind a train. Come on, come on, come on. It was one of those long trains. You know what I'm talking about. Well, it was passing for 10 minutes, causing her to be 10 minutes late, Marissa. Do you know what that means? You were 10 minutes... Honey, please, I got this. No. 10 minutes late is what? 10 weeks. Excuse me? 10 weeks. 10 weeks. Very good. You're grounded for 10 weeks. Now get to your room. Oh, God, I hate them so much. Stupid rule. What the heck? What's a pineapple doing in here? The pepperoni pizza's been eaten. How is that possible? It started with pizza. On pizza days, this cafeteria made only like 30 slices of pepperoni pizza. And when it was gone, it was gone. No backup, no mercy. And there was this one kid, let's call him Darren. He lived for that pizza. Yo, I live for that pizza. He would sprint to lunch every single pizza day just to make sure he gets it. Oh, yes. But one pizza day, he got to lunch a little late. And when he got to the front of the line, it's gone? Oh, man. Just cheese left. He was mad, but he held it in. The next pizza day, he left for lunch even earlier. He was jogging to the cafeteria, practically. I'm gonna get it this time. And again, gone. 2 pizza days in a row, gone before he even got there. On the next pizza day, just as the lunch bell was ringing, the fire alarm went off. The whole school evacuated. They were pretty sure it was a standard fire drill. It took about 30 minutes to clear. All right, single file line, everybody out of the school. Just a drill. Come on. Now, like I said, this happened right before lunch even started. But when they came back in, the lunch ladies noticed that somebody ate the pepperoni pizza. How was that possible? The pepperoni tray was supposed to be sealed. The full pan, it was half gone. Well, they were obviously super curious as to where this pizza went, so they checked the cameras. Darren, in the cafeteria alone, helping himself to a tray of pepperoni while the entire school was outside. The footage had a timestamp, 12:02. That's 2 minutes after the fire alarm went off. He was suspended on the spot, and there were rumors about legal charges. But nobody knows what really happened because the kid actually never came back to that school. All we know is Darren got his pizza. But at what cost? This school sold popcorn every Friday. Plain, no butter, no seasoning, just small, sad bags for $1. Well, one day, this kid Tyler shows up with a frickin' plan. He brings a small lunchbox to lunch, and inside, dozens of mini popcorn seasoning shakers. Ranch, nacho cheese, cinnamon sugar, literally anything. Hey yo, can I use that, man? Totally, homie. A quarter per shake. Now, at first, people thought this was kind of ridiculous. 1/4 for one shake of popcorn seasoning? But once people started trying it, it was game frickin' over. He would stand on top of the lunch tables shaking seasonings into people's popcorn bags while kids are sliding and throwing him quarters. It was kind of bussin'. And Tyler wouldn't just stop there. If somebody was broke, he would say, I season it for you now, you bring me a quarter tomorrow. Or else, I'm writing your name down. I don't forget. By the end of the month, all the popcorn was seasoned to perfection thanks to Tyler. One day, Tyler's counting out $20 in quarters when the principal comes up to him and says, We do not run seasoning businesses in this lunchroom. You're done. And he was shut down. You gotta respect the hustle, though. He wrote all of that down in that notebook? Yeah. Holy sh! Everyone at the school knew about Eli. Not because he was loud or popular. It was just the opposite, actually. You see, Eli was just off. He wore the same hoodie every single day, carried one of those tiny spiral notebooks in his back pocket, and he was always scribbling in it during class. Like it'd be mid-lecture, he would just pause, start writing in this thing, and then he would stop, snap it closed, and stare ahead like nothing happened. Now, people assumed it was a sketchbook or he was writing stories or something, but the rumors started flying pretty quick. Some kids thought it was a hit list. Others thought he was writing creepy fan fiction. It got to a point where a teacher actually pulled him aside to ask him about it. Eli just said, It's nothing bad, I just like to keep track of things. And for a while, that was enough, until someone found one of the notebooks. It fell out of his pocket during gym class. Oh my god. Yo, Steven, is that what I think it is? Yup. And yeah, it wasn't a hit list, but it was weird. He had pages dedicated to different people. Not in a creepy way, more like stats. Stuff like, Jamie asks to borrow a pencil 3 times a week. Mr. Grant pretends he doesn't see phones on desks. Cafeteria, chicken sandwich rotation is every 6 days. It was like he was documenting the entire school. Patterns, routines, habits, everything. And the weirdest part, he was right. Everything he wrote down was dead on accurate. He had memorized the school's entire system and everybody in it. After that, people stopped making jokes. Because anytime somebody wanted to know something, like what day pizza was coming back, when Mr. Grant gave pop quizzes, what the fire drill schedule looked like, they didn't ask the office or the teachers. They asked Eli. So yeah, he wasn't a problem. He was a database. This is why you should always wear a seatbelt. And yes, there are the obvious reasons, but here's another one. Let's say you're in the back of a car or the back of an Uber, and the car suddenly stops very fast. If you're wearing your seatbelt, it would look like this. If you're not wearing your seatbelt, your face would just slam into the headrest in front of you. Which is exactly what happened to this woman who was riding in the back of an Uber. She was heading for a night on the town. She was wearing a lot of makeup, but she wasn't wearing her seatbelt. So when her driver had to come to an unexpected stop, her face smacked into the headrest, and this was the aftermath. This teacher had a candy tax. So one of my subscribers sent me this story. It was period 1 teacher. No food, no drinks allowed, unless it was a water bottle with a lid. But candy? Candy was allowed, with a catch. If you bring candy, I get a cut. And he meant it. There was a jar on his desk. It was a big glass jar and it was labeled candy tax. So if you had candy, you would walk in. Here you go. You would put a few candies in the jar, sit down, and you were free to eat your candy openly throughout the class. Payment received, my boy. Payment received. But if he caught you eating candy without giving him the tax first, he would walk over. I didn't see you pay the tax, young man. Here. Too late. It's all mine now. And he would take all the candy you had. For the most part, all the students respected this rule. And honestly, so do I. Gotta pay the candy tax. So one day in 7th grade, this kid got called into the principal's office. He had no idea why. He walks in, sits down, and the principal just stared at him. The principal asks, So, you want to tell me what you did? The kid's confused. I have no idea what you're talking about. That's when the teacher walks in, and she looks pissed. Don't play dumb, you know exactly what you did. Now the kid's kind of panicking. I swear I don't know, what did I do? You skipped my class yesterday, but I know you were at school because I saw you before and after lunch. What were you doing? Huh? Probably something illegal. But here's the thing. He was literally in her class yesterday. No, I wasn't. I was in class. I was sitting on my usual seat. You're crazy. I took attendance, and you were not there. Detention. Now at this point, this kid is super frustrated. He already did not like this teacher. Now she's accusing him of skipping her class for whatever reason. So he asks the principal one simple question. You have security cameras in every hallway, right? Of course we do, yeah, for the safety of the school. Then check them. The room goes silent. The teacher grows pale because she knows she messed up. They send the kid to sit outside the office while they looked at the cameras, and 15 minutes later, they called him back in. We checked the footage. You were in class. I know. You can go. I'll handle your teacher. But as he was walking away from the office, he could hear the principal yelling at the teacher. Now why on God's green earth would you make something like that up?
Oh, I didn't. I swear.
You better shut your mouth.
You're on thin ice. You're on thin ice.
Shut it down. We can't. There's a wait list. At this one high school, there was this one kid that never taught. Like, ever. Nobody even really knew his name. But one Monday, he walked into the cafeteria with a massive backpack. Everyone was very curious. Like, what the heck is in there, man? He sat down and he pulled out a full-size blender, a jug of orange juice, and some frozen fruit. He plugged it into an outlet and... Everyone was staring. This kid's making a frickin' smoothie? And lunch? He poured that smoothie into a cup and handed it to the kid next to him. For me? Okay. Yo, that's good. Just handed the kid a smoothie without saying anything. The next day he did the same thing. Brought the blender in, made smoothies, but this time he handed 3 cups out to people. And again, every student loved them. Day after that, 5 cups. It's like he was testing the clientele to see what they liked. Well, by Friday, he had a handwritten sign that he put in front of this lunch table. Smoothies, $2. Mango, pineapple, or strawberry banana. And the wild part was he was good. Frozen fruit was packed in dry ice. The straws were pre-torn so we could just pop them in there. And he had a punch card system. Buy 5, get 1 free. At first, the teachers didn't really notice. He was blending during the loud parts of lunch. He even had a kid from drama club doing the marketing. Attention everybody, everybody. There are smoothies at table 20. Go get yours now. This all started crumbling down when kids stopped waiting in line for lunch. And they began waiting in line for these dang smoothies. What in the world is going on over there? Some kid's got a blender and he's making smoothies and people are paying for him, man. I don't know. Well, shut it down. I can't, man. There's a wait list. Mrs. Johnson's in line. I'm so excited for my smoothie. Principal didn't care. He came over and took the blender. Unplugged it. He was shut down. But was he? That kid missed school the next day. But then he came back with a battery-powered blender. He didn't need to plug it in anymore. During lunch that day, the principal and the school police liaison came and got him. They brought him to the office, and everybody thought he was done for. But then the next day, he came back with a new and improved sign. Smoothies, $2. Mango, pineapple, or a strawberry banana. Now approved by school. Turns out him and the principal made a deal. Okay, fine, you can sell them at lunch, but you have to also sell them at every single school event this year, and we take a 5% cut. The money you make during lunch, that's yours, though. Deal? By the end of the year, that kid earned enough money to buy a used car. He was the silent smoothie slinger. You gotta respect the hustle. Don't put your finger in a Tesla Cybertruck. Look at all these car trunks. When they come down on something, they seem to sense it and come back up. Probably to protect people's hands, fingers, stuff like that. But the Tesla Cybertruck seems to be a different story. It just full sends the trunk down without any regards to what's in its way. See for yourself.